Shrek has always been a firm favourite of mine. And it wasn't until quite recently that I was able to work out that one of the reasons I love it so much is the soundtrack. It has an absolutely fantastic soundtrack. Of course, one of the other reasons that I love it is the fact that the dialogue is so quick, just so quick. Shrek is very witty, and I love Donkey, and there are so many reasons to love Shrek. But I listened to the soundtrack on its own for the first time. I don't believe I'd ever just sat down and listened to the album start to finish without having the film, obviously the visual aids. And I came to one conclusion, and that conclusion is quite simply this album is fabulous. There are a couple of songs on this that I'm not too bothered about, that I don't really care for, but for the most part, it's brilliant, and the songs that I do like, I really love. So I thought I'd just take a few minutes to kind of share my personal highlights of this. I have said it before, and I'll say it again, I am not technically knowledgeable about music. I am discussing these purely as a fan. I don't have the vocabulary to pick these apart and talk about the quality of the music other than what my ears hear. I'm pretty tone deaf in every sense. So for me, the song Stay Home doesn't really bother me, which is from the album version. But then we have I'm a Believer, which is obviously Smash Mouth, and it's fabulous. I don't want to say that Shrek wouldn't be the same without that song, but I kind of feel like at the same time, yeah, it very much makes this album exactly what it is. It's just fantastic. I should also point out these songs are not, as far as I remember, they're not in the order that they appear in at all. I'm not sure what order they're in. If you can ascertain that, please feel free to let me know. We have Like Wow by Leslie Carter. Off the top of my head, it's not a song that I can sing or hum along to, but when I listened to it, instantly recognised it and really love it. And that's the same for It Is You I Have Loved by Dana Glover. I couldn't remember it when I read the name. I was like, what song is that? When I started to listen to it, really, really loved it. Then we have The Best Years of Our Lives by the Baha Men and Bad Reputation by Halfcocked and My Beloved Monster by Eels, none of which moved me that much. If you said name a song from Shrek, it wouldn't be any of those ones. You Belong to Me, Jason Wade, maybe, but for me, along with I'm a Believer, one of the songs that made this soundtrack fabulous is All Star by Smash Mouth. It's incredible. When I think of Shrek, this is probably the first song that comes into my head, which is unusual because it also features I'm on My Way by the Proclaimers, and I am a big, big Proclaimers fan. I assume that Shrek was my introduction to the Proclaimers. This was probably the first time I heard this song. It was probably the first of the Proclaimers songs I ever heard, so thanks to Shrek for that. Pretty great introduction. All of these songs are quite upbeat, quite lively, which is in fitting with the theme of what Shrek is. But we do get Hallelujah by Rufus Wainwright here, and it's always a sudden shift when you go from a lot of high intensity to something more mellow. But I think the transition works really well, and as a song, I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I really, really love it. On the actual CD itself, there is a version of I'm a Believer by Eddie Murphy, of course, as Donkey. And you also get True Love's First Kiss, which is a pretty great song. In all, the Shrek soundtrack is one of the best things ever. It is definitely lively, entertaining, upbeat. I do think it's missing Duloc, or whatever that song is actually called. There is a second Shrek soundtrack, which is the motion picture score, which is obviously all of the music in between those key hit songs that we know and love and like to sing along to, mainly the instrumentals, with music by Harry Gregson Williams and John Powell. I don't believe Duloc is on that. I could be wrong. I am wrong. I'm just looking at it just now. Welcome to Duloc is on there. So if you want to listen to that, you can do it via that album. But personally, as much as the music written specifically for Shrek is great, I have to say the pop music used in it is what makes it that little bit more awesome.